A little time back we were out with the Deus 1 and we were talking about how to super tune it for a certain field, and that field was this very field. So I thought, well, let's get out with the Deus 2, make some tweaks to it and get it jumping through some hoops. Now, here's a bit of a spoiler alert. I've actually done the tweaks. I've been using this new custom program for about 3 weeks now. I've got some good friends out there testing it and they've given me some fantastic feedback. And I just wanted to get to this field because I know it's quite tricky. I'm familiar with the field, so I can sort of judge whether I've hit it right. And at the end of the video, if we've got a few targets, I'll give you my settings for this new Deus 2 program. This is going to be a good one. Just sweep, well, something you're comfortable with really. You might hear there you've got a few different tones of iron as well. Don't ask me why. Now, when it comes to audio on this program, I'm being fussy. There's targets that are almost there but not quite. At this stage I'm not digging them. I'm digging the ones which are repeatable and sweet. And the reason why I'm doing this is because over my last sort of 3 weeks of testing, I have been digging these suspicious targets and they've turned out to be ferrous targets, junk. As you can probably hear, this is quite a lively program, but this program has been designed for use in heavy iron. But I've had a few good reports that it also works well on a quiet site. Now, within this program, there's some real radical changes, stuff you wouldn't normally do. Why does it work? I don't know. I really don't know. But all I know is it's really, well, the last few weeks it's really opened up this Deus 2. I'm getting a few high spikes coming through, which I can deal with. I don't want to tune them out because you'll hear when we get a good tone. You'll know exactly what I'm listening out for. High spike. So bear in mind this is obviously a multi-frequency machine. It deals with iron differently to, let's say, the Deus 1, which is a single frequency machine. Loads and loads of information. There's one of those tones. Can you hear it's fluty? It's not like the iron tone, is it? So that's tone number 1. I'm going to dig that out, and then we're going to have a little talk about it. Hear that? That's changed now, that's brightened right up. Well, it's somewhere. There we go. Somewhere in my hand is the target. And it is, it's a tiny, tiny little coin. It looks like a little sliver. Actually, it's not a coin, it's a little button, tiny little button. Perhaps a medieval one. But you've got some sort of marking on that, which you're going to have to investigate a little bit more. These are those targets I said I'm ignoring. Nothing good about that. I think that's a piece of misshaped iron. The numbers going from 77, 22, 16, all over the place. So what I talked about earlier about ignoring targets that weren't solid, that's exactly what I mean. Just walk away. So those of you who like a lot of feedback with your machine, I think you're going to absolutely love this program. Now the way this is reacting, based on sort of previous experiments with these odd false signals, you'd say, reactivity is too low, isn't it? But no, it's not. That's that tone. Hear how we pick that out straight away. Have a listen. Walking back. Like turning a light switch on, isn't it? Bit of depth to this one. There's your iron. There's your signal. And there we go, look. It's a tiny little Roman coin. At least I think it's Roman. But I hope you're getting a bit of a feel for this new program now and seeing what it's actually made for. Finding little coins in amongst iron on a Roman site. So before we get into the bare bones of this program, I'm using the XP Deus 2 on version 2. So if you're one of these people who like to stay on the earlier versions, I can't guarantee it will give you the same results. Now there's that second tone. It's still fluty, but it's higher. I've also thrown it away. There it is. Don't know what that is. I think it's just a flat disc that may have been a coin or something at some point. See it in my hand there, look. Really don't know. If I come around a bit, tone starts to drop, but it's still there, isn't it? Now, is that because it's next to iron? Got to have a look. There's definitely iron in the equation, but we're on a Roman site, so there's every chance it's sat next to, on top of, or below some iron. Well, that's iron. Again, I don't know. Let's keep going, and you never know. We might get lucky. Who knows? Woohoo! Thank you, treasure gods. Or if I spoke too soon, could be lead. they are. There's another coin right in amongst all that iron. Do you know what? Doing these sort of tests, that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. Absolutely love it. People do detecting for various reasons, don't they? Some people do it for the history. Some people, dare I say it, do it for the monetary gain. Some people do it for the exercise. I do it to find out what makes this machine work on this field. Right, let's get going. Let's give you the first part of this custom program. The baseline is sensitive full tone, so that's what we're going to start with. So here we go, sensitivity 95, nothing new there, just a pretty generic sensitivity setting there. Frequency max 40. Now I've got it on 40 because I want to find those small Roman coins, as you've been seeing there. Iron volume is at 10, reactivity is at 3. Now, a lot of the time I go down to 2.5 with the Deus 2 because it seems to handle the reactivities better than the Deus 1. But you've heard how fire it is on reactivity 3. It's a bit of a monster. If I go down to 2.5, I'm going to get a lot more chattering. Maybe I can go up to reactivity 4. That's something I've got to look at. Let's go down one more. Audio response, that's at 4. Now before I go into some other settings, let's do a little bit more detecting. Low conductor. See, it's not an iron tone. (32, 33). It's still a bit high for coke, but that's about where the tone break is. Well, that's an interesting one. I think that might be a part of an artifact, you know. It's small, it's got dots all around it. Definitely worth digging. That's really cool. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Don't ignore those low conductors if you're on a Roman site. It's really good to hear from you guys, because these programs I'm making, well, basically they're for you, aren't they? So if it's something you think you can go with, why not give it a try? And if you think this video is bringing any value, why not subscribe or hit the thumbs up? I'd really appreciate that. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down twice. Right then, let's do the last part of this program and have a little chat about it. Audio response 4, let's go down one more. And this is the bit what blows my mind. Discrimination 42. I'm just saying, 42. At 42, I'm getting that low tone for coke and the low conductors, and I'm finding just the tiniest stuff coming in below 42. So what this full tones is doing to the discrimination settings, God only knows. All I can say is it works. Don't change it, guys at XP, don't change this. So discrimination 42. Well, Paul, we've been using the Tekkna program today. What do you think?
I think it's worth having a go. Whoever wants to try it, it's certainly worked well up here. I like the high square tones. I like the max 40. It just works. It's getting the little minims out as well.
Yeah,
tiny little minims.
We're using a discrimination at 42. How does that work?
I don't know. It works. We worried about putting it up that high, but it does work. It's it's not something you maybe recommend normally, but we've done it and prove it does work.
It's witchcraft, that's what it is. Witchcraft. Expert full tone, offset 10. So what the offset does is it changes the tone from the low to the good target. Let's say iron is a low tone, a real low conductor is a low tone but slightly higher. What the offset does is make a bigger gap, so iron stays the same and the low conductive tone is lifted away from the iron, so it's better to identify. there's a video on that anyway. And also, while we're talking about videos, have a look at my XP Deus 1 super tuning video, because you'll gain a lot of Deus 2 information from that. Okay, bottle cap 0, notch off, silencer, now here's another jewel in the crown, 0. That's why the iron is a little bit cracky and a little bit spitty, because I wanted to open the machine up. The silencer, 0, so that's giving it more breathing space, but it's a little bit more punishing on your ears. But as you can see what we've done today, the good targets are jumping out at you. There's really no problems there at all. And we're back to full tones. Okay, audio, scroll down, and it's square high. The high square tone is what we're using today. No other changes to the graphic equalizer and things like that. I've got the big numbers on, and then just save it as Tekkna. But guys, I'd really appreciate your feedback on this one, because I'm stoked about this program. The last 3 weeks, my friends have been testing it. It's been called GSF, the program, if you've seen it on the digs. And they've given me fantastic feedback. It's working for them. So it'd be really good to get your feedback. That's it. Thank you. Bye for now.